A dynamo for my rebuilt Stuart No. 4, Part 3. By using my DC mains power supply unit, it would appear that the field coils re-magnetise the stator, and the dynamo now outputs about 8 volts DC when I use my electric drill to drive it at a high RPM. I wanted to see if, by removing the armature from the unit and energising the stator field coils using a freshly charged 12-volt car battery, would show any increase in performance. Once again, I remove the rear bearing cover to get at the bearing. This time though, I'm not just going to look at it and clean it, I'm going to remove the armature. The machine screw in the end of the armature has a left-hand thread. By leaving the drive shaft of the armature clamped in the drill, I was easily able to remove this screw by turning it in the right direction. The next thing to do is to turn the dynamo around and remove these 2 special screw bolt things that hold the front cover on. The front cover also holds a very good quality bearing in the centre. Here you see me removing the armature and the cover in one go. The next part of the job involves removing the brushes. I move the position of the brush springs so that they don't put any pressure in the brush area, and then I just remove the brushes, or at least move them out of the way. I am of course being very careful not to damage the leads that connect the brushes into the circuit. It's nearly time now to take this part of the dynamo up to the workshop and connect my high amperage 12-volt freshly charged car battery to the stator coils. At this stage I cleaned a lot more of the old grease out of the bearing. This is a good time to clean the commutator. I don't know why there are 2 black rings around it. One would presume that the brushes should make 1 black ring, but there are 2. I will look into this. First I cleaned the commutator surface using some blue Scotch-Brite. Then I cleaned out the gaps, which weren't particularly full of carbon anyway, and for this I'm using a small piece of gasket material, which is just the same as a piece of rigid thin card, and it soon got rid of any particles of carbon in the gaps of the commutator. Now the commutator looks a whole lot better than it did originally. Time to go up to the main workshop where a car battery awaits me. This is a car battery that I've been using to try and start a single-cylinder Chinese diesel engine, but it won't start because I can't prime the pump. Here is the dynamo casing with the stator coils sat on top of the battery. All I need to do is connect the battery to the dynamo stator coils using the wiring that is normally connected to them anyway. These jump leads are really terrible. I think I'm going to throw them away and buy a better quality set. Eventually I managed to make contact between the wire and the terminal of the battery using one of the jump leads. Now all I have to do is persuade the other jump lead to connect to the positive wire, which is red. At this stage I didn't know what was going to happen, so with some trepidation I made the connection and felt at the temperature of the coil, but it was cold, which means that that's okay. Had it have been red hot and burnt my finger, I would have been concerned. With the wiring connected, I wondered how much magnetic flux was being generated, so I put a Barco spanner where the armature normally lives, and I'm pleased to say there was considerable magnetism in this area. I tried it again without the battery being connected, and there was negligible magnetism. So why didn't the stator, which looks like it's made from iron, become a permanent magnet? I really don't know. Magnetism is like witchcraft, as I mentioned in the last episode, and who really knows what it is anyway? This leads on to a whole lot of questions. For instance, what is gravity? As planet Earth is spinning at a very high speed, why doesn't centrifugal force fling everything off the surface into outer space? I really don't know. I just build and repair steam engines. I compose, play and record music too. After 10 minutes across this freshly charged car battery, the coils were hardly warm, just aired, so I would think that's about the best it's going to be. I even tried disconnecting and reconnecting the battery several times to see if it needed spiking, so to speak. Back now in my smaller workshop, I'm coating the rear bearing with some good quality grease. After which I refit the armature, and here, remembering that this is a left-hand thread machine screw, I'm tightening it in place. The screwdriver is not really big enough, but it's a Barco screwdriver and it's in very good condition so it doesn't chew up the screw. I also packed the front bearing and managed to get the grease all over the cover. Once I wiped away the grease, I continued with the job. And I'm tightening the two special screws, which are not screws at all. They're specially made for the job. They're more like nuts with screw heads on. The only thing I need to do now is replace the brushes and springs, making sure that I don't fracture the wire. Once I was happy that the left-hand thread machine screw was tight, I replaced the cover. The video is of course running at a higher speed for this part. Now the dynamo is once again connected to my electric drill, and the output wires are connected to my voltmeter set to the 20 volts DC range. And this is what happened. The dynamo immediately generated 8.8 volts or thereabouts. I am told that theoretically this voltage should rise the more the dynamo is used. This is a 6 volt LED bulb, and it seems quite happy at 7.5 volts when it's running, although I'm sure if I give it much more it will go pop. I'm not convinced that I can get sufficient RPM from my Stuart number 4 using a leather belt from the edge of the flywheel down to a smaller pulley that I'll machine for the dynamo. When I first put this dynamo assembly together, I was using a Stuart 5A steam engine, but the flywheel on a Stuart number 5 is much larger than on a Stuart number 4. We shall see, but that's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.